So this was me 2 months ago opening up my new studio display, nice and shiny, all excited, and here I am today, still excited for my new studio display. It's been 2 months now and I'd like to tell you all about how I learned to stop worrying and love this studio display. Let's check it out. So we're all pretty familiar with the specs of this. I'm not really gonna go over every little detail about it. Some of the bigger gripes that everyone talks about is no ProMotion, no HDR, and the incredibly high price tag. But I really think this monitor is geared towards the professionals that are using the computer every day. Maybe not every day, hopefully, but at least 5 times a day to crank out your videos, crank out your media, whatever you're cranking out there. You want something nice to look at. If you're looking at it every day, all day, do a favor to your eyes. Get something nice like this. I've just come to a point in my life where I just want stuff to work, no bullshit, no problems, and it's a plus if it looks great and will last a long time, and that usually means no plastic. So with its aluminum body and a bunch of tech packed inside, I lifted it up on my desk and it definitely passed the weight test right away. I knew this display was going to be a big splurge on my bank account, supporting the Apple tax, being trapped in the ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. I've gotten used to that in the little Apple formula, but I know from experience that you get what you pay for with this stuff. And so I was excited to check out the $1,600 display, even though that is outlandish. It's the most expensive display I've ever bought, but it's either that one or a $5,000 display from Apple. So it's a 27-inch. Some people wanted a 32-inch, but that would have just bumped up the prices even more. I'm fine with just the 27-inch. I think it's more than enough. A few weeks ago, my wife used it for about 4 hours. She's an architect, designer, so she's using CAD, drawing little boxes, designing stuff all day long. She used it for 4 hours. The very next day, she went to Costco as soon as they opened and bought the very last one that they had. And that really showed to me that the user experience of this thing for professionals that are using a screen all day long, I mean, it is just so much nicer compared to a cheap monitor. And that's what we've been using, these 4K, try and get away with a $500, $600 monitor. You know, it works fine, but there's always all these problems. Where this studio display, I haven't had any problems. You plug in anything, everything works. I plug in the iPad, it pops up on the screen. I can charge up everything. It's got 4 ports. That means I don't have to have a hub anymore, a stupid hub. So I mentioned I wasn't gonna go too far into the specs, but these are a few things that I thought were really interesting about this display. One thing you should definitely check out is the teardown of this display. There's been a couple YouTubers that pop this thing open. They check out all the peripherals, how everything is laid out. It is quite amazing. It's gotten a lot of press for how the cooling system is built. There's an A13 chip in it, which is doing something for the webcam. Definitely not making the webcam look better yet, but it is helping it run center stage, which is a cool feature that I like. And we all know how updates go. Apple could come along and just totally change this whole system, change this whole display into something completely different, using the capabilities of that A13 chip. So I'm excited to see what comes out in the future from Apple regarding the displays. 600 nits of brightness, that's plenty bright for me. I'm usually running at about half power. One of my favorite YouTubers, I Am Patrick, had a post about how he's using it for the key light. When you're filming YouTube videos, you need a bright light. If you put a kind of see-through white cloth over it, it softens the light, and you can definitely use that as your key light for making videos. Like, why not? There are different color profiles that are available to you with this studio display, and what I really loved is that as soon as you plug in whatever Apple product you're using, it automatically detects what it is and sets the color profile accordingly. You can also set it to the different types of work you're doing, whether it be web, video, photography. Very cool stuff. If you've ever had to calibrate your monitor, you know that's a pain in the ass, and so this was definitely a welcome feature for me. I did get the lower price option for the glass. I've never had a problem with the glare of it at all. I'm usually in a kind of darker room when I'm editing, and so that really wasn't a problem. I can't speak to the higher options of the glass. And I also bought the lowest option for the stand. That was kind of iffy. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with that, but it actually ended up being perfect. The screen on your desk comes about right to your eye level, and so that's kind of where you want it for ergonomics. And I'm easily able to tilt the screen to however much I need when I'm just using it for a simple Zoom call. And when you're using it in center stage, that is not a problem at all. It's constantly following you, framing you up perfectly, which is a nice thing to do for your FaceTime chats. And speaking of that webcam, I was definitely not impressed. I'm sure you've all seen examples by now comparing the webcam to just a simple MacBook webcam. It's pretty pathetic what the Studio Display looks like. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, and that's definitely going to be another update that Apple needs to do pretty soon to make that thing look good, because I know it can. So of course nothing is perfect and everyone is always left wanting more, and there were a few strange things with this monitor, the webcam, which I just mentioned. Another interesting thing that I couldn't figure out is you can't turn this monitor off. And the only way I could really do it was to go and power down the power cord that it was connected to. I would like to increase the lifespan of this thing, keeping it on 24/7. Must be doing something to it in there. The power cord. You cannot unplug the power cord. That is very strange. You have to always have the power cord wrapped up if you're gonna move it around to places. Usually, you're not moving it. When the monitor finds its home, it sits there forever and it doesn't really matter. So if that's gonna be your situation, who cares about the power cord? But yes, if the power cord gets damaged, if a mouse goes and chews through your power cord, or your dog or your cat or something like that, you might be kind of screwed. Getting that cord replaced now means having to take the whole display to Apple, and that's just gonna be a huge pain in the ass when you could just go order a power cord online, get the new one there. But hey, that's how they do it. They're very sneaky at kind of getting us trapped in a box, right? Like, they know the things we want and they know how to like keep us in there. Apple's very good at this stuff. So what I love about us YouTubers is that we're very skeptical about all this stuff. We've been played before. We've fallen into those pitfalls before, and we know what Apple is doing now to us, but we just gotta play along sometimes because they do have the best stuff. This is a prosumer monitor. So if you are a professional consumer, or if you're just a professional media maker, you're a graphic designer, someone who is looking at a screen all day, you appreciate design, you want something that looks nice on your desk, then this is the display for you to get. It's gonna last a long time. I hope I get a few years out of this thing. Look out for it on the big sales, Black Fridays. If you can get this thing around $1,000, that is definitely worth it. The $1,600 price point, it's pushing it a little. Thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and support this channel. I'm trying really hard to get to a certain level of subscribers here on YouTube. Been working all year on it, so I'd love to get your support and for you to join the channel and this little adventure with me. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you all at the next one. Take care.